Now, what you're about to watch isn't commentary. This is not analysis. This is a live unraveling, if you will. Rachel Maddow didn't just disagree with Trump last night. She lost complete control of the narrative on live TV. And what makes this moment different is simple. Her viewers weren't cheering with her anymore. They were cheering against her. Let's start here.
In your heart of hearts, when you think about what the United States just did, I think there are very few Americans right now who have any idea why the United States did this. If this was about drug trafficking, then why did President Trump just pardon the former president of Honduras, who was convicted of sending hundreds of tons of drugs into the United States? If this was about something about the illegitimacy of Maduro's election, well, that's something that the U.S. is, decrying any other country policing. We just sanctioned Brazil for having tried to protect itself from a coup by its former president, Jair Bolsonaro. I mean, if it's about gangs, we had the president of El Salvador, who is believed by U.S. law enforcement to be very linked with the notorious gang MS-13, which has caused incredible damage in the hemisphere, including in the United States. He's invited into the Oval Office, and the president says that he's looking forward to sending homegrown Americans to that president's essentially, jungle concentration camps. So all of the purported explanations for what's happened here don't stand up to logical scrutiny. The president has never articulated a coherent rationale for having done this. This seems like Marco Rubio's dream, not Donald Trump's dream.
Did you catch that? Hopefully y'all did. She says Americans don't understand why Trump did this, and then spends the next minute not explaining it either, not even a little bit. That's not journalism in my book. That's sheer panic mode. But this isn't confusion. This is what happens when a script collapses in real time right in front of our faces. And what really shook her was realizing the audience wasn't nodding along with her anymore, just blindly, Now, I want you to watch what happened when someone actually lived under Maduro speaks. Now, I will translate what he says after the fact, but Pete.
Y le pido a todos que tengan fe. No sé dónde ir a salir, pero le pido a todos que tengan fe, que no se dejen llenar la cabeza de que los gringos solo quieren el petróleo, y los gringos solo quieren sus riquezas. O sea, a esas personas les pregunto, ¿qué creen ellos que querían los rusos y los chinos durante tanto tiempo? ¿La receta de la arepa? Imposible. Y le pido a todos que
Boom. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and do my translating, aka read the caption. Venezuelan man says, quote, those who say that the U.S. is only interested in our oil, I ask you, what do you think the Russians and the Chinese wanted here? The recipe for arepas? That line, the recipe for arepas, ended more arguments than MSNBC, than they have solved in 10 years. Because here's the truth. Every global power wanted Venezuela for the same reason. Oil, influence, leverage, from what I'm learning. The difference is the Venezuelan people wanted Maduro gone. And that part drives American liberals insane. Because while cable news is over here melting down, the people who actually lived it, they're celebrating.
All right, so here we are 3 damn days into the new year, and y'all are already bitching like it's a full-time job. I thought half of y'all said y'all was moving to Canada or Russia or wherever the fuck. Pack faster. Funny thing though, the actual Venezuelan people, the ones who lived under Maduro's boot, a whole lot of them are celebrating. But you, sitting on your couch eating your DoorDash, are pissed off. Of course you are. Last week y'all was mad at Nick Shirley for helping expose corruption that you should have been screaming about for years. This week, you're mad about an administration that doesn't even govern you and was just uprooted. You just rotate outrage like it's a subscription service. Let's get something straight before the misinformation crowd starts foaming. Maduro has been formally indicted by the United States for narco-terrorism and drug trafficking. That's public record. Senior Venezuelan officials tied directly to cocaine trafficking. Also public record. This is not conspiracy. It's court filings. And this fake-ass constitutional outrage, Barack Obama authorized a drone strike that killed a fucking U.S. citizen. Without a trial, without charges, without Congress voting on it. That's documented fact. So if Obama can vaporize a U.S. citizen, Trump can capture a foreign national already under indictment. Pick a standard, or admit you don't have one. You weren't screaming war crimes in. You weren't crying about democracy. You just suddenly found morals when the wrong name signed the order. And the irony, some folks talking about hypocrisy in foreign policy have no issue with sketchy local politicians taking bribes, inflation crushing everyday life, or statewide corruption going unpunished, but suddenly have thoughts about international military ops. Come on, put that same energy towards your own local officials taking bribes, judges letting tax evaders walk, city councils misallocating funds, state leaders screwing up schools and infrastructure. But no, we'd rather debate cartoons online. Some of y'all act like every fucking country is supposed to be a good guy, except the one the U.S. just blew up in the middle of a real military operation. The U.S. just crossed borders with military force, whether you support it or not. Stop the whine. Get some facts. Pick a fucking lane. Either you're mad about hypocrisy everywhere, or you're just mad that something big is happening right now, and your fucking Twitter feed didn't prepare you for it. Fuck out of here.
That right there is the disconnect. The people under the boot are celebrating, but the people on DoorDash, as he put it, are outraged. And notice something interesting. The loudest voices defending Maduro have never missed a meal, never crossed the border, never fled socialism. Outrage is easy when it's theatrical. And now here's what things really break down, right? Because even Democrats can't keep their story straight.
So for me, it's like, why as a Democrat, we can't just acknowledge that it was successful, and now it absolutely was a risk. And now that's why we're going to continue to monitor it. And I'm going to remain open to a better outcome for Venezuela and Venezuelans and the region.
Yeah. So, Senator, to that point about the region, the president seems to be clear now. He wants to change the way we're doing business, not only in Latin America, but the Americas in general. That includes Cuba as well, and some of the other countries as well, and try to fight off the influence of China and Russia. What do you make of this new foreign policy now that the president is implementing?
I'm saying that, what I've seen, whether it's Iran now and Venezuela, it's like putting some of these actors accountable beyond just some rough language on social media. So that's where I'm at. And now how many experts call that the strike in Iran would spiral the region and create all kinds of mass chaos? That's just absolutely not true. That just didn't happen. And now perhaps Iran could even have a nuclear weapon now. So for me, if you're willing to stand up to people like this, now a lot of those members of BRICS are definitely paying attention and realizing that they can't continue to destabilize our global order without being held accountable in just things that happen here or whether in Iran.
Yeah, you're talking about India, you're talking about Brazil, you're talking about Venezuela, a lot of the South Africa, a lot of the outlaw nations. They want to be a counterweight to the G7 and our economic programs, and they were fancying themselves a threat. They're losing a major piece to that puzzle. Thanks so much, Senator.
Thanks, Senator.
So Lawrence has the indictment right here. And Marco Rubio, he said the indictment has been unsealed, and he said people should read what this man has done for the last 15 years of his life. So you can download that indictment if you want to read all of the war crimes, the terrorism crimes, the drug charges, if you want to read more about his...
That's a Democrat saying the quiet part out loud, might I add. Fetterman. Now, we wanted him gone. There was a bounty. Now he's gone. So why are people pretending this is shocking? And y'all know I just discovered all this information from the last video up until now. But, why is it shocking? Because, I think it's because acknowledging success would mean admitting Trump did something right to them. They'd do anything but that on the left. And for some reason, that's worse than being wrong. But leadership didn't like that honesty, so they pivoted hard.
They have to start with the capture and indictment of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. You have called him a, quote, criminal and authoritarian dictator who has oppressed the people of Venezuela for years. Is Venezuela better off without Nicolas Maduro in power?
Well, he's a bad guy, of course, and he's going to stand trial in an American court of law at this particular point in time. It remains to be seen whether the people of Venezuela are going to be better off. Donald Trump claims that he's going to run Venezuela. He's done a terrible job running the United States of America. Life hasn't gotten better for the American people over the last year. Life has gotten worse. He promised to lower the high cost of living. Costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. The healthcare system is broken. Donald Trump refuses to do anything about it to address the Republican healthcare crisis. So the notion that he's going to run Venezuela and make life better for the Venezuelan people, of course, is belied by the facts as to what he's done as president here in the United States of America.
I want you to notice what's missing if you haven't. It's the same thing with the left. No alternative plan, no concern for Venezuelans, no explanation, just vibes. That's all you get. Trump bad. Orange man bad. Operation scary. Details optional. This isn't policy. This is emotional damage control. That's what we're saying. And when, the argument collapses, they roll out the props. Let me just scroll down. I ain't even got to click on the screen for this one. Y'all look at this. Different cities, same signs, same font, same slogans, totally organic, right? Totally organic. Like this isn't orchestrated by anybody at all, right? Nothing says grassroots like a national print order. And if you still had questions, listen to someone on the ground.
What are your thoughts on this protest? Well, these guys are paid. They're so organized. I mean, it's less than even 24 hours. They got hundreds of signs made. It's almost like they have a print shop in the back of their People's Forum over here down in the city. That being said, that if you looked at all the videos out on the internet, the people in Venezuela are happy that this is happening because now they don't have to deal with socialism and communism. But the people who are actual socialists and communists are here in America protesting against what's good for the better people in Venezuela, and that's the sad part.
Thank
you know, and they want to turn this country into what that country is. They don't want this country to be good. These people want to live in socialism and communism.
How is it related to Palestine? They're talking about Palestine.
How is it related to Palestine? I don't know. I mean,
I'm trying to figure it out.
There is no relationship with it. These people are just pretty much, like I said, they're bored liberals that have nothing better to do. They're funded, better than probably, I think, one of the best funded people in the world. Probably $18 million a year, from what I understand, they get funded.
I confronted Manolo DeSantos, leader of the People's Forum. I said, you guys got paid $20 million a year by Roy Neville Singham to paid protests, and he had no response. He didn't deny.
Yeah, well, he actually never says a word. He'll never, because he knows once he opens up his mouth, he incriminates himself. So that's why
he's getting arrested at every other protest.
Yeah, but he's getting arrested,
which we pay
for. And he was also He was also a couple of times I've seen him with paid security, armed paid security, walking down the block with them in a protest, which is also illegal to do. What does this have to do with Palestine? Absolutely nothing. But it's the same people who protested BLM, who are protesting Gaza, protesting Venezuela, protesting anti-Trump, no kings.
Yeah.
Everything just to destroy this country.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'll see you around then.
Nice seeing you again.
Nice seeing you.
Less than 24 hours, hundreds of signs, and perfect coordination. Meanwhile, you got Venezuelans dancing in the streets. This should tell you everything. And sometimes the mask slips completely.
Officer! Officer! Oh, look. The same guy who wants to defund the police is calling for the officers. Look at you fucking loser. You carrying a fucking Venezuelan flag. You're not even from there, you idiot. Speak to real Venezuelans so you can see how they feel. You fucking dumbass. I wish you touched me. I wish you would touch me with that flag. I wish you would touch me. Officer! Fucking teeth.
Yeah, that moment right there, that's the whole story, right? Defending a dictator you never lived under for a country you can't even find on a map. Virtual signaling has never looked so hollow. And while all this noise is happening, Trump does what Trump does.
Fox News alert President Trump speaking this morning to one outlet, delivering a warning to Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, after Nicolas Maduro's capture. An excerpt from the interview, quote, Trump issued a not-so-veiled threat against the new Venezuelan leader, Delcy Rodriguez, saying that if she doesn't do what's right, she's going to pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro. The president made clear that he would not stand for what he described as Rodriguez's defiant rejection of the armed U.S. intervention that resulted in Maduro's capture. Fox News alert President.
That's not chaos. That's clarity. A dictator removed, a warning issued, no American casualties. Love him or hate him. This is what decisiveness, I think that's the word. Yeah, decisiveness looks like. So let's be honest. Rachel Maddow, she didn't melt down because Trump acted. She melted down because her audience is beginning to see right through it, as they did. When reality starts winning, the performance, they start getting a little louder, start dancing a little harder. But if this video made sense to you, if you saw the shift happening in real time, you already know. So hit that like button already if you haven't. Shout out to someone who's still pretending this is confusing. And subscribe if you're tired of being lied to comedy. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, I want you to drop the script broke in the comments. I know personally who really watched. Y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.